Hello and welcome to my next video. I am 1 month in living in this Sienna, and oddly enough it's been exactly 1 year since I bought it. So I currently have 40,000 miles. Pretty crazy. So I'm going to talk about sleeping in the Sienna. So let's start by taking a look here at the light situation. I just pulled in, and you're able to take the lights and turn them off, the outside lights. Now notice the vehicle is still on in ready mode. So we've got our climate control, but the outside lights are turned off, which is good. We can now move to the menu and turn off this screen. Display screen off. And this is usually how I leave things as far as the front. You can dim the dash lights a little bit, but it really doesn't do much. I typically don't bother. All right, so let's take a look outside. Okay, next I'm gonna tip the seat, angle it all the way up so it's vertical. So we have the climate control currently set pretty low at 60 degrees with the fan at only 1 click up. And I have the rear fan turned off at the moment. Now the outside temperature, let's check that, is 51 right now with some rain coming later. So the 51 to 60, it's only a 9 degree actually difference. And I found to make the car run less often if I have the temperature differential not too crazy different from the outside to the inside temperature. And then also if I forgo the rear fan, the engine kicks in less often. Now of course that means less gasoline used. So the choice to run it in the ready position on with the climate control versus just turning the van off, well, that's a choice. Now, if you wanted to keep the van completely off, you'd probably want to crack a window or two just to get some ventilation. And I have done that. But lately, I've just been running the van in this ready mode with the fan, on the lowest setting, like I said, the rear fan off, just to get some ventilation going. And that allows the windows to stay fully up, which helps with quiet, number one, and also safety, really, when you get right down to it. The windows being all the way up, the van locked, it's a safe way to be. Now let's talk about stealth and the effect of the engine running on stealth, or the lack thereof. So there's two different sounds that'll happen when the climate control is engaged. Sometimes there's a fan that's running, which makes a real minor noise, but then of course the engine does kick in every once in a while throughout the night. So depending on where you're parked, right now I'm in a park and ride, so it's been completely fine to have the engine kick on and off. But if you were to be in a situation where there's other people around and maybe they're not expecting a van running when it looks like nobody's sitting in the driver's seat, that could freak some people out. So I would say the engine turning on and off occasionally to keep the climate control on does have an effect on stealth. So that's something you should think about. Obviously you can turn off the van and you're quiet, so that's not an issue. So another issue with the van turning on and off throughout the night is, of course, will it interrupt your sleep? And right now I would say I'm pretty used to it after a month and previous vacations going back the last year. Did a lot of sleeping in this so far, and really it doesn't bother me, the engine kicking on and off. It's not very loud, but it's something to consider. If that would wake you up, if you're a super light sleeper, think about that before you buy a vehicle like this, or any hybrid actually, where you'd want to run the climate control frequently. Here's the sound with the engine running. Again, with all the background noise of the freeway, you really don't even notice it in this case. Okay, well, let's do the steps here to get ready for bedtime. I have my seat tilted all the way up. Let's climb in. Get the shoes off. So I'll close the door here, the sliding door. You know, I must say another advantage of the hybrid setup is the ability to charge your devices at night, anytime. So we have the cord there for the phone, for the Apple CarPlay in this case, the maps on the screen, etc. So I could be charging the phone on that. And then, as you may or may not know, there's a lot of charging ports here. So we have 2 here. This is USB-C. Here's regular USB. Inside, we have 2 more ports here, and obviously the front one that I mentioned, the cable's always plugged in up there. And I believe there's some even in the back here, which you can't get at because of the bike. Point being, I can charge the iPad, the phone, laptop, anything else while I'm sleeping, and that is very handy. Okay, now I could put on a windshield screen to block this light. I typically don't bother though. And then I do have my thin blanket under here that's black, and I will sometimes drape that over the seats here to again block light, but a lot of times I don't even bother with that. That's personal preference. You definitely might want a black curtain, and you might want to block the windshield depending as well. So the van is running right now. Doors are closed, but there is one more thing we need to do here, and we need to lock ourselves in from the inside using the driver door. So if I were to just let it run like this, in an hour it would beep and give me a warning. So to stop that from happening, we're going to lock it from the driver's door from the inside. Now we are locked in, and this climate control will run all night. And again, the engine kicking on and off as needed. Gas being high, I tend to do what I said earlier in the video, which is to make the temperature differential small, so it's not working so hard. But of course, you know, you can't control the outside weather. And I'm still stuck here for another month working in this climate before I can travel and get to where it's a little warmer. Again, here's the rear controls, which I have off right now. I just feel it burns a little less gas and kicks on a little less often without the rear fan on. But of course, that's a personal choice, and I may change depending on the situation. Okay, and you hear the engine just kicked off. So we are getting ready for bedtime. So thanks for checking this video out. Let me know if you have any questions, and take care. Bye-bye.